Okay, what I wanted to cover is how to make a simple Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is a chart where we can write down the tasks that we need to create, and then we can put dates on those so we can make sure that we're staying on a schedule. And so this is a really good process to be able to see in a quick glance exactly what are all the things that we need to do, when, how much time it's going to take to do each one of them, and so we can figure out, what our final duration is. So to do this, this is a simple one that I made, and I'm just going to go back through and show you how I created this. Okay, which basically we've got a graph down here, and then once we create, all the information in our graph down here, then we can do a graphical interface up here that will take this data and make it into a little chart that's visually appealing. All right. So to start off, what we're going to do is let me just make a new blank document, and I'll move this one out of the way. Okay. So up here at the top, the first thing we're going to do is our first column is where we're going to give a description to whatever the task is we want to do. So we'll just call this task to complete. Okay, that'll be our first column. Okay, so whatever the task is that we need to complete. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this whole column, and then I'm going to go over here. I'm on my home tab here, and I'm going to go over here to format, and I'm going to create this auto fit to column width. So as I'm typing things in here, it'll automatically expand this. Okay, the second one, what we're going to do is going to be the duration of whatever our task is that we need to do. The third one we'll make it is our start date. So where are we going to complete this or start this? And then the third one here will be our, we'll say our delivery date. There's nothing magical about these names. You can name things whatever you want to name them. So what is the task that we're going to complete? We're going to give it a short name. Then how long is it going to take us to do the task? What day are we going to start on the task? And then what day will it be delivered? Okay. Then the last one we need to do here is a description. So we're going to put task description. Okay. And since we're going to be writing quite a bit of information into this, I'm going to make it kind of long, something like this. Now, in this particular column, what I want to do is I want it to be able to wrap based on height as I type information in here. So as I type the information in here, I'm going to want it to wrap. Okay, so what we're going to do here is pick this, and we're going to click this right here that's called wrap text. Now, the other thing I want to do here is I want this text I write in here, I want it to be aligned to the left and the top. So left, top, and wrap the text. Then the other thing I want to do in this is to do I'm going to go over here to format, and I'm going to auto fit its row height. That way, as I put information in here and it's longer than what it needs to go in there, it'll adjust the height accordingly. The delivery date will center that duration and date, but all of these will just center these. This one we want flush left and to the top also. And I think that's what we need to do. Okay, so and let's make all of these to the top. All right, so we want to give this a color just so it's easy to see. So we'll say something like a light gray, like this. All right, now, so what we're going to be putting in here is the name of whatever task we're going to complete. Okay, so we'll just call this, for right now, we'll just call this task 1. And then what we can do is we're going to pick these this column, and then we'll pull it down to, we'll say 10 tasks, you know, whatever they are. We can expand it to whatever. Then you're going to come in here and give this different names. Okay. Now I've already written out a whole structure in here, so I'm just going to copy mine and paste them in here. Okay. So mine is based on this particular chart is based on creating a character from concept art all the way to the modeling and texturing and final delivery. So in my first section is going to be, and this should be auto filling column width. There we go. The character concept thumbnails. Okay. I think it should take a day to create the thumbnails. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to give this a date. Let's say that it was starting today. So 7/8. And I'm going to change the way this shows. So what we're going to do is right click on here, and we're going to go down here to format cell, and then I'm going to change this to be date, and I'm going to leave the default and click OK, and then that'll put the date in there. I'm going to want this to be a date also, like so. All right, so now to fill in this, okay, so we're saying it's going to take a day to do the thumbnails. We're going to start on this date. Now, I'm going to have this automatic fill this in, okay. To do that, you're going to put some code in here. It's really easy code, okay. So all we're going to do is we're going to say equals. So this delivery date is going to equal this date, and then a plus sign plus this duration, and then hit enter. And so it's going to automatically figure out this date for us. Okay. Let me do that again. So all we're doing is clicking in here. We're typing in equals. Okay. An equal sign. So this is going to equal, and then just click this. It's going to equal this. So it's going to put C2 because this is C is column and 2 is the cell. Okay, so it's going to equal this, and then put a plus sign to add this to it. So it's equals this plus this, and then hit enter, and it'll give us a date. So now as we come in here and we do our tasks, okay, so our second one I'm going to do here is character concept review. So we're going to create the character thumbnails, then we're going to review the thumbnails. Okay. And that's where you're going to submit those to the to the creative director for review. Okay. From there, we'll do final concept sketches. After that's approved, then we'll do base mesh, create a base mesh. From there, then we'll take it into Mudbox and sculpt it. Mudbox or ZBrush. ZBrush is the industry standard, but you guys are using Mudbox, which is fine. Okay, and then from there, we're going to sculpt. Okay, and once we're going to take this sculpt and we're going to bring it in and retopologize it. Okay. And what we might put in here is maybe brackets and Maya. So we're going to retopo it in Maya. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to unwrap it. Why is this not holding on to my width? Okay. So we'll unwrap it. Then we're going to create the maps for that. Then once we've created the maps, we will upload the mesh, upload the model and its maps to Sketchfab. And then the last thing we'll do is we're going to post it onto our website. We'll post a Sketchfab viewer, and this is going to be on Behance is where we'll take that. Okay, so here's all my tasks that I'm going to do. Okay, so now I have to come in here and figure out what my durations are. And so I'm going to say this is going to take a day. This will take 2 days. 1 day for this. To do the actual sculpt, I'll be generous, 4 days on that. Say, be generous on this, 4 days here for the retopo, and 2 days to unwrap it. I'm being kind of generous with these. To create the various maps, we'll say 5 days on that, and then a day to upload the mesh, and then a day to get it inside of Behance. Okay, so this is the duration of what it's going to take us. Okay, so the other thing that we're going to assume is that when I stop one, then I'm going to start the next task. So when this task ends, then I'm going to start this task. So all I have to do here is type in equals and then click on this and then hit enter. And so it's going to automatically calculate this for me. So all I have to do now is let's just pull this one down, and now let's grab both of these and just pull down, and then it's going to fill all this in for me. Okay, so now I have the start dates and the end dates and the duration and the description of it. Okay, now over here we'll create long descriptions of what is the task is going to be. Okay, so this is just a title and then a real description over here. For example, for my character thumbnails, I'm going to give it a description, and the description is going to be I'm giving the character name, so 30 thumbnail sketches for a certain character. Okay, next thing is meet with the creative director, Professor Udi, to gather feedback and choose a final direction. So on all of these, what we're doing is just giving a description, a more descriptive, so that it's easy for anybody to understand what's going on. Okay, so once we've got that information, then we deliver 5 final concept sketches from the previous meeting. Okay, and so forth. You're going to put all these descriptions in here. I'm just going to pause it while I drop all these descriptions I already have in here. Okay, so I've dropped these descriptions in here. Now what we want to do is to come in here and give us a little bit of a grid around this, so we can go ahead and pick all these cells. If you go right here, you can click all borders, and then it'll put borders in there. Sometimes what I do is I come up here and say, okay, on the bottom, I want it to be a thicker border on the bottom to separate these, and that'll kind of help us separate. Then the other thing to make it easier is I want to color these, every other one, a different color, so it's easier to kind of see them. So I'm just holding down my control key and I'm picking the cells for every other row. And then you can come up here with your little fill bucket and you can give it some color, whatever you want to give it. It's totally up to you. And so there is my basic chart. I may come in here and make these bold. And there is my basic data that I need, which gives me a good idea of all the steps that I have to go through from the initial concept stages all the way through the modeling stages, the texturing stages, to the final delivery stages of a particular character, all the way from the design all the way through the modeling and the texturing. Okay. Giving myself a specific, I'm giving myself a specific duration for each one of those, when it's going to start and then when it's going to be finished, and then a brief description of each one of these. Now, I see that a lot of you students, what you're having a tendency to do is you're not going into this much detail. You're just saying, model a character. Okay. Well, what does that mean? Okay. It's not, you're just kind of filling in the chart, but you're not using the chart as a tool. And the chart is a tool to make sure that you're spending enough time and that the pace that you're working at will be able to get us to where we need to go. Okay. So there is the basis of that. And next thing we want to do is to make a nice graphic. Okay. So one of the things that we need to do, we need to alter this chart just a little bit, to be able to utilize this new system. We need the duration to be between the two dates here. So what we want to do is go right here and then right click and let's insert a column to the left. And then we just want to pick this column and we want to right click and cut that. And then highlight here, right click, paste. And then grab this one and we want to delete that column. So it needs to be your task that you want to complete, what day it starts on, what is the duration, and then what is the delivery date. So now when you come in here and you create this, you can create a chart that will follow along with what I did in the video. Okay, so I wanted to give an update on how to create your Gantt chart. Evidently the initial interface that I was using is different than the ones that you guys are using. So let's see how we can help you with this. All right, so by default, this has got a mini little interface up here. So what you want to do is go over here to the right where this little arrow is, and you want to change this this ribbon up here to a classic ribbon. And now you'll have more options in here. Okay, so they've updated this to make it so that it's easier to do your Gantt chart. So the main thing we want here is that we've got our tasks here first. We've got our start date. Then we've got our duration, and then our delivery date. And then we've got our description over here. All right, so to create the Gantt chart, we're going to select all this data. We don't want to select the description, only the part that's going to be measuring time. So we want to go here and scratch over here. So we have all of these columns selected. Then you want to go to insert. Then right here under bar, we want to get this second one right here, which is called a stacked bar. We want to select that. Then you want to make sure you're in chart here, and then we want to click format. All right, we can go ahead and stretch this out to make it bigger so it's easier for us to deal with. Okay, so over here, we really don't need a title to our chart, so you can just turn it off here. And we really don't need the legend, which is down here at the bottom where it's telling you what these colors all mean. We don't really need that either, so we can turn that off. Then the other thing we need to do is we need to flop this because it's got the bottom at the top and the top at the bottom. So over here on vertical axis, go down here where it says category in reverse order, click that. Then we can close that vertical axis. and then that will complete so that it's in the right order. And now what we need to do is to create our dates in here, okay, because our dates are off. So what we want to do is come up here, and what we want to do is click into this cell that's got the date in it, the beginning date. Let's just copy this, and let's go over here and put it into a cell. Then right below that, we want to put a date that's the end of what we're doing. So right here on my chart, I've got 8/9/2024. I'm going to include it. I'm going to do these in 2-day intervals, so I want to end it on an even number. So I'm going to change that to 8/10/2024. Okay, and then I want to select these, and I want to change them from date, because they're at dates right now like that, and I want to change it to numbers. We're converting the dates to numbers. So I want this number here. Okay, so just copy this, copy that number. And then we want to click on the date right up here, and I want to paste that number in right there. That's going to be our beginning. Then right here, we need to copy this one. That's our ending date. So we go back over here and click on date again. Make sure that, okay, and then we're going to paste this into the minimum. And then what we're going to do is come in here and get these here, okay, which is our start date, and we want to fill that with no fill. And then we want to click this one, and this is our delivery date, and we want this no fill. And there we have our chart. I can change this back to a single. Okay, then the next thing I want to do is I want to go over here and go back up here and pick your date again. And these lines that are coming down there, these are what's called major units, and it's doing them every 5 days. I'm going to change this to be every 2 days. And that'll help us a little bit where we're just, then our grid is showing everything every 2 days. Okay, so now what I can do is come up here and I can insert, let's see here, I want to insert a row above, and then let's just pull this down, and then let's take our chart. And then we're going to move our chart up into that area. I need to pull this down a little bit further because of my chart size. And then I'm going to align my chart up with this width, and then I can pull this up and set it right inside of there, like so. And, okay. And there's our chart. If you want, you can come in and change the color of this. If I want to, I can come in and change this fill, and I think I'm going to match my blue here. And let's see, I want these to be, I'm going to fill those with white, and then I'm going to fill every other one of these with our blue. Okay, and then I think at that point I am good to go. Okay, so hopefully that helped you with this new interface. This is the version that you guys are using is a web-based version. The one that I originally created it on was a free standing version, and so the layout was just a little bit different. Functionality is the same, but the layout's a little bit different. Okay, hopefully that helps you guys. Thank you very much.